Dr. Zenthal adjusted his crystalline observation apparatus, the prismatic device casting rainbow fractals across his elongated features. The Etherian scholar's four eyes blinked in sequence as he reviewed the data streaming across his neural interface. Beside him, Professor Crixhan of the Void Collective made a dismissive clicking sound with her mandibles. "Primitive emotional outbursts," she declared, gesturing toward the holographic displays showing human settlements. No mathematical harmony in their social structures. No philosophical depth in their communications. These humans are barely above their animal origins. The third member of their research team, Scholar Nemoth from the Crystal Hierarchies, nodded his massive head in agreement. His gemstone-encrusted skull caught the light as he spoke. "Their technology is crude, their art form chaotic, and their music—" He paused, accessing his files. "Random noise at best. They lack the sophisticated cultural frameworks we've documented across 17 different sapient species." The trio represented the Galactic Consortium's most prestigious xenocultural research division. They had spent 3 standard cycles cataloging human behavior from orbit, compiling what they believed to be a comprehensive analysis of Earth's dominant species. Their preliminary report was already circulating among the intellectual elite. Humans, a species without true culture. "We should observe one more ritual before finalizing our conclusions," Dr. Zenthal suggested, his scientific training demanding thoroughness despite his colleagues' certainty. "There's a large gathering happening in the settlement they call Detroit, thousands of humans congregating in an enclosed structure." Professor Crixhan's antennae twitched with annoyance. Another crude mating display, no doubt, or perhaps primitive resource distribution. Nevertheless, the Etherian insisted, "Protocol requires complete observation." Their stealth vessel descended through Earth's atmosphere, positioning itself above the massive concrete structure. Through their advanced sensors, they watched as humans streamed into the building, a diverse collection of the species wearing various textile configurations, many adorned with strange symbols and images. Inside the venue, the aliens observed humans of all ages gathering in a vast open space before an elevated platform. The crowd's behavior seemed random, chaotic, exactly what their research had predicted. "Note the lack of organized social hierarchy," Scholar Nemoth recorded. "Individuals mill about without apparent purpose or structure." Then the lights dimmed. A single human appeared on the platform, gripping a strange wooden instrument strung with metal wires. The crowd's chaotic energy suddenly focused into anticipatory silence. Dr. Zenthal's sensors registered the collective biological shift, millions of heartbeats synchronizing, neural activity spiking across the entire gathering. The human struck the strings. The sound that erupted wasn't the random noise the scholars had cataloged from orbit. It was power. Raw, controlled, purposeful energy that seemed to physically impact the air itself. More humans joined the first, adding layers of rhythm and melody that built into something the aliens had never encountered in their centuries of research. But it wasn't just the music that stunned them into silence. The crowd moved as one organism. Thousands of individual humans became a single entity, their voices joining in perfect unison to words they somehow all knew, arms raised in synchronized gestures, bodies swaying to rhythms that seemed to speak directly to something primal yet sophisticated. The aliens watched in growing amazement as barriers of age, appearance, and social status dissolved completely. "Impossible," Professor Crixhan whispered, her mandibles chattering in distress. "This level of spontaneous coordination requires telepathic abilities. Humans don't possess telepathy." Dr. Zenthal's four eyes focused independently on different sections of the crowd, trying to process what he was witnessing. Near the front, a human with elaborately colored hair threw herself into the rhythm with complete abandon, while beside her, an elderly male in formal attire moved with the same passionate intensity. Their differences were irrelevant. They were connected by something deeper than the aliens had thought possible. On the platform, the lead human began to sing. Not the simple communication patterns they'd analyzed, but something that transcended language itself. The lyrics spoke of struggle, hope, defiance, and dreams. Each word carried emotional weight that rippled through the crowd like a visible force. Scholar Nemoth's crystalline structure began to resonate with the bass frequencies, creating harmonic vibrations he'd never experienced. "The mathematical complexity," he stammered. "The layered rhythmic patterns. This is more sophisticated than our own ceremonial music." The performance built to crescendos that seemed to lift the entire crowd in waves of collective ecstasy. Humans who had never met embraced like family members. Strangers shared drinks, tears, laughter, and something the aliens recognized as pure joy. The music became a language more universal than any spoken words, communicating concepts that transcended species barriers. As the final song reached its climax, the lead human called out to the crowd, "This one goes out to everyone who's ever felt like they don't belong." The response was deafening. 20,000 voices screaming their approval, their understanding, their shared recognition of a fundamental truth about existence. Dr. Zenthal's apparatus captured every detail: the complex social dynamics, the instantaneous cultural transmission, the sophisticated emotional intelligence required to create such unity from such diversity. These humans had taken individual experiences of isolation and pain and transformed them into collective strength and beauty. When the concert ended, the three scholars sat in stunned silence as the crowd slowly dispersed. They had witnessed something that challenged every assumption about human culture. This wasn't primitive noise, it was art of the highest order. This wasn't chaos, it was controlled emotional fusion. This wasn't simple animal behavior. It was sophisticated cultural expression that created meaning from suffering and community from solitude. Professor Crixhan was the first to speak. "We need to revise our entire report." "Revise it?" Scholar Nemoth's gem-studded head turned toward his colleagues. "We need to completely restart our research. We've been studying humans from the outside, measuring their culture by our standards. But this," he gestured toward the now empty venue, "this is something entirely different. Something we're only beginning to understand." Dr. Zenthal began deleting files from their preliminary report. "Note for the official record," he said quietly. "Humans do not simply have culture. They are culture. They transform individual experience into collective meaning through methods we have yet to comprehend." As their ship departed Earth's atmosphere, the three aliens realized they had witnessed something that would change xenocultural studies forever. Humans had shown them that culture wasn't just about art, philosophy, or social structure. It was about the ability to take diverse individuals and unite them in shared, transcendent experience. The Galactic Consortium would never see humanity the same way again.